Hey folks, here is your one-step equations test of 2021. Remember, you need to take your time. Use this read aloud as cues to help you use your mind dump and the knowledge that I've given, the strategies I've given you to help you be successful. First name, last name, hour. 1A, what step of work would you need to be shown to solve the equation below? So what I would do is I would write this down, I would rewrite it, and then identify which step. So would you add 12 on both sides, subtract 12 on both sides, add 34 on both sides, or subtract 34 on both sides? 1B, again, from the exact same equation, solve the equation. So x equals negative 22, x equals negative 46, x equals 22. And I'm not going to keep reading all of these because you guys are sufficient and able to read these. What step of work would you need to be shown to solve the equation below? Remember, you cannot have two signs. You need to rewrite it on the side. Tell me whether you're adding 123 on both sides, subtracting 123 on both sides, subtract 326 on both sides, or multiply 123 on both sides. Again, you're going to take that equation and you're going to solve for the answer. 3A, what step of work would need to be shown for the following equation below? So your first step, again, rewrite it. Do your steps. Add 113 both sides. Subtract 113 on both sides. Add 73 to both sides. Subtract 73 on both sides. Solve the equation from what you just did here. 4A, imagine what you need to do, guys. Rewrite this problem. Then you're going to do the reciprocal of 2/3. So multiply by negative 3 on both sides, divide by 2 on both sides, multiply by 2/3 on both sides, multiply by negative 2/3 on both sides. Solve the equation. 5A, rewrite, make sure you're using your fraction bars. Divide 5 on both sides, divide negative 5 on both sides, add 5 to both sides, multiply by negative 5 on both sides. Solve that equation. 6A, what step of work would need to be shown to solve the equation below? Again, rewrite this equation. Use your fraction bar on both sides to make sure that you're putting the number that is connected to the variable correctly. Add 3 on both sides, divide by 6 on both sides, multiply by 6 on both sides, multiply by negative 3 on both sides. Solve the equation. 7A, what step of work would need to be shown to solve this equation? Again, rewrite using this fraction bar to help you. And remember, your variable cannot be negative. Multiply by 2 on both sides, multiply by negative 2 on both sides, divide by negative 2 on both sides, or add 2 on both sides. And solve that equation. Okay, number 8, we're getting into geometry. So please select the equation below that would need to be solved in order to get this angle x. X plus 52 equals 90. X plus 52 equals 180. X plus 52 equals 100. And then you're going to solve. So when you solve the equation, you selected above, find x. To find x, what would be your one step of work? So you found your equation. What step of work do you do? Add 52 on both sides, subtract 52 on both sides, subtract 90 on both sides, subtract 180 on both sides. After solving the equation, you selected above, what is my answer? So solve for it. Okay, this one is going to be a little bit lengthier. So you're going to have to listen to the keywords. And if you have this available, cool. If not, you're going to have to be pausing this and reading it yourself after I read it, and maybe highlighting or identifying what information you can take out of this to create a word problem. Your soccer team holds a car wash to raise money for their tournament trip. Your team split the car wash into 2 shifts, the morning and the afternoon. You made $134 during the morning shift. At the end of the car wash, your group has $283. So there's your total. How much money did your group make during the afternoon shift? So we have to define this variable. X equals the total amount of money made at the car wash. X equals the amount of money made during the morning shift. X equals the amount of money made during the afternoon shift. X equals the number of cars washed. Now, taking this information again, you're going to answer the next question. Which equation below could be solved to find the solution to the real world situation? So what equation are you going to use to solve for your variable? And you can read these just fine yourself. Remember the keywords that we talked about. When you solve the equation you selected above, what would your first step of work be? Subtract 134 on both sides, add 134 on both sides, subtract 283 on both sides, or divide by 134 on both sides. 9D. After solving the equation you selected above, what would be your answer? Choose your answer and make sure you have the correct label. 10A. You're going to select the equation that would solve this triangle. And you can read those numbers just fine. When you solve that equation you selected above, what is your first step of work? Would you subtract 110 on both sides, subtract 42 on both sides, subtract 152 on both sides, or subtract 180 on both sides? After solving this first step equation, you're going to give me an answer. Here's another angle problem. Which angle below is equal to 72 degrees? A, B, or D? Please select the equation that could be solved to find angle A. So this angle right here. You can read these equations and you can pick one that would best fit this supplementary angle. When you solve the equation you selected right up here, what would be your one step of work? Subtract 90 on both sides, subtract 180 on both sides, add 72 on both sides, or subtract 72 on both sides. And then 11C, same thing. Give me your answer from what you solved from A, B, and C. All right, 11D. What is angle D then? So if you got the correct equation here, and then you told me my one step, you got me my answer, you should be able to tell me what D is. If you solve for A, you should be able to tell me what D is. Here is another word problem. Make sure you're listening for key words. Lucy went to the video store and bought some old DVDs that were $7 each. If she spent a total of $63 at the video store, how many DVDs did she purchase? 12A, define that variable. So X equals the number of DVDs Lucy purchased. X equals the total amount of money Lucy spent. X equals the cost of each DVD. And X equals the amount of money Lucy saved for DVDs. Remember, it's in this last sentence with the question. Okay, from that word problem, you're going to choose which one best fits the equation that would go along with how many DVDs did she purchase. You're going to tell me your first step that you would to solve that equation. Subtract 7 on both sides, add 7 on both sides, multiply by 7 on both sides, divide by 7 on both sides. 12D, what is your answer? All right, we're almost done. 13A, Caleb claims the situation to the equation below is x equals -3. Is he correct or incorrect? Okay, you're asking yourself, well, how do I solve this? We just gave you the value for x. It is -3. So you would substitute that in for x, and you would tell me if these two sides balance or equal each other. I agree. Caleb is correct. I agree with his answer. He's not correct. I don't agree with his answer. Using Caleb's solution above, which option below correctly demonstrates the check step? So if you go down to this one, which one is correct? So how did you solve this problem? Did it check? Did it not check? You're going to hit submit. If you have any questions, I will be available for you. Mrs. Quaker could be available for you. Good luck. Hope you did well.